to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me for another one of my videos. So today, although I've covered self-love before, I really wanted to talk to you about creating a self-love or a self-care routine, should I say, or which you can do each week, which is really going to help you to invoke that self-love, invoke that positivity, and help you to really nurture and love yourself properly. So if you want to learn more about self-love, please go check out my other free content and resources on that, because there will be a whole ton of practices that you can do. But specifically what I wanted to talk about today was my 3 steps of like a routine, a self-care routine, which you can implement each week in your like own unique way, to really help solidify that self-love and help you kind of regularly fill your own cup up so that you can obviously give to others. Because if you aren't filling your cup up regularly, you absolutely cannot give anything to others, because you've got to make sure that you're full first and that, you know, you're looking after yourself most importantly. And that's the number one things I hear from clients from my life coaching sessions, where they're like, I just don't have time for a self-care routine, I just don't have time for self-love. And it's like, it's not even a case of you don't have time, you have to make time. Because if you're giving and giving and giving and giving, like, when are you having time to fill your own cup? When are you being like nurturing to yourself and self-loving to yourself to be able to give to others? Like, you know, that's what you need to remember here, is that you need to be looking after yourself and making yourself a priority. And think about that as a reflection of law of attraction as well. If you are giving and giving and giving to people, what they're going to do, they're going to be taking and taking and taking. But if you are giving to yourself first, you know, putting yourself first and nurturing yourself and equally giving in a balanced way, that's going to come back to you tenfold. Like, that's going to be reflected back to you. So if you do feel that you put others first, if you do feel that you are guilty of this, then use this as a sign, as a message to really stop this now and to really like focus on you. So some ways, or the 3 steps that I always advise to people for creating a self-care routine. So self-love and self-care are very different things. Self-love is very much kind of, you know, practices highlighting the self-love, highlighting any kind of issues, body issues or anything like that. Whereas a self-care routine is like a routine that you dedicate yourself to each week, where you actually implement these tools, you implement these practices as such, rather than just kind of doing it once and thinking like, oh, I've washed once, I'm clean. Nope, this is like a routine you need to stick to. So whether it's an evening, whether it's a day, make it your day. Name it your day, make it your evening, and once a week dedicate this time to yourself. So I always say, like, number 1, do something for yourself. So with nobody else around, this is for yourself. So that could be reading a good self-help book, that could be watching some self-help videos, podcasts, whatever. You know, do something that is going to bring you something, like bring you joy, bring you happiness, or bring you you know, you're doing something for yourself, for your development, for yourself, which doesn't involve anybody else. So it could literally be anything, reading a good book, I don't know, like whatever it could be, you know, a beauty routine or anything like that. You know, make sure it's for yourself and you're just spending that quality time with yourself, doing something that will really add to you and bring you joy and fill your cup. And then the second tip I would say is to do something fun. So this could be like a pampering, like face masks, like a girls' evening in, watching a movie. You know, definitely this you can do with someone else. That's absolutely fine. So like have a movie night, you know, just do something fun and something social and something which is going to bring you joy as well. And thirdly is to treat yourself. So whether it's to your favorite chocolate, a glass of Prosecco, the new dress you've been eyeing up for ages. You know, it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be extravagant, but each week just treat yourself. Whether that's buying yourself some flowers, treating yourself to a takeaway, like whatever like happiness and joy brings to you, and you'd be like, that would be the most self-loving thing for me to do right now. Like, I really want this, or I've been saving up hard for it, or, you know, it is just simply something simple like some chocolate. Do it for yourself. And like, these are the 3 steps that I always follow and always recommend to people, of, you know, having fun, doing something by yourself which is going to add to, like, fill your cup, and also have like pampering time, some kind of self-care pampering time, and treat yourself each week to something, because these are real acts of self-love. And I'm not saying you have to spend money to, you know, love yourself or have this self-care routine. But you know, let's be real, some of the things do cost some forms of money. So you know, like for instance, like a lot of people will want men to buy them flowers. It's like, girl, buy yourself flowers. Like you don't need a man for that. Like you can love yourself and have some beautiful flowers staring at you in your kitchen every day. So you know, all those things you feel that someone else would need to give to yourself. Like you don't need anybody to give you these things. Like you can do it yourself. And it is nice to receive things, it is nice to receive gifts, absolutely, and you can absolutely manifest that. But the whole point of self-love and self-care is to really nourish yourself, give yourself these things which you desire and which you know, see as important or loving acts as such. And you know, one thing with self-love, which definitely comes into the self-care bracket as well, is self-love isn't just about basking in your glory. It's not about just saying like, I'm amazing, I'm beautiful, I'm the sexiest person ever. Like those help, they're good affirmations, but it's not about just basking in your glory. It's actually about calling out your own bullshit as well. So any kind of habits, any triggering that's coming up, you know, if you've pull yourself up on things. This is part of self-love and self-care as well. Pull yourself up if you've been in a funk. Pull yourself up if you have been negative and have let fear creep in. Pull yourself up if you can hold your hands up and say, actually, I could have dealt with this something, like a situation or something differently, or actually I could have been a bit more loving, or actually I could be more loving to yourself. Like this whole routine, self-love and self-care, is also about calling out your own bullshit and changing that and using that awareness to shift these things and, you know, create even more harmony within yourself and peace. So really use these opportunities, whether it's to do some journaling, like I said, read a good self-help book, watch a video, watch a podcast, meditate, read some books, whatever it may be. Like make sure that you're also dedicating that time to really look over how you are, how you're feeling, rate it out of 10 if that helps, so you can keep a track of how you are each week, and just say like, how do I feel this week? What could I have improved? What made me feel not so great? What has made me feel great? What can I improve on? What do I need to do more of? You know, this is all part of self-care, is taking that conscious time each week to address it, to get internal, go within and be like, what do I need to address? What do I need to flag up? What do I need to be working on? And how can I improve this for the week ahead? Because that is real self-love. When you can sit there and say, I'm not happy, I need to shift something, or actually that's really working well, let's focus more on that. So really calling out your own bullshit is so important, because we can like let fear creep in, you know, we can really let these things creep in, and it's not good to do so. So the more you can kind of shine that light on it and be like, yeah, I see it, let's improve it, you're already inviting that healing in, you're already inviting those spiritual solutions to come in and manifest in the sense of advice, videos, someone saying something, or do you know what I mean, a conversation. So really having time each week to dedicate to yourself is so important. And actually it's about the quality of time as well. Like a lot of people say to me, well, you must have so much time for self-love, Emma, because you live by yourself, you work by yourself. Actually, no, I still have to dedicate time to myself. And I'm really proud that I do, because actually when I am working, I'm working with other people. That's not me time, that's other people's time, as well as working on my own projects. Like I haven't really got time to sit there and really like internally analyze things. And even living by myself, you know, cleaning, cooking, running things, you know, I have a social life, I have all those things. So it's really not actually a case of I have all this time. So really, if you're in that same position as well and you think, oh, I spend loads of time with myself, actually ask yourself, are you spending quality time with yourself? Are you actually spending actual quality self-love time? Or are you just thinking you are because you spend a lot of your time by yourself, which is two very different things. So definitely pull yourself up on that, be aware of that as well, because it really is, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, where you actually like, you know, pick yourself up on these things, really nurture yourself, really work on yourself, because even like an hour could be way more beneficial than a whole day where you're sat there trying to like self-love yourself, or you just sat there watching Netflix, or you're sat there doing something else and you think that's self-love, when actually, okay, yes, that may be what you want to do, it's a fun activity, but you're not actually addressing anything internally, or, you know, doing the whole 3-step process. So definitely look at how like much quality time you're spending with yourself and how much kind of internal internal work you're doing and kind of calling yourself up on things, absolutely, because a lot of people think they're doing self-love when actually they're really not. So I hope this video has really helped you guys and given you some tips and advice on how you can create your own self-care routine each week, and absolutely stick to this. It will be the best thing you ever do, so please, please, please dedicate an evening, a day, whatever feels good for you each week to really do these 3 steps and nurture yourself, because when you nurture the inner, your outer is going to reflect so much more abundance, love and happiness when you have that harmonious relationship within yourself. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed watching this video. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I reply to them all, and I will see you in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love, guys.